Caleb Rowan was the kind of man who made people stand straight when he walked into a room. He was rich, strong, and feared, but he hardly smiled. His workers said he had a heart made of stone because he never gave second chances. His business partners said he could look at a man once and know if that man was lying. But that afternoon, inside his black car with tinted windows, Caleb saw something by the roadside that made his whole body go cold. "Stop the car," he said. His driver, Idris, looked at him through the mirror. "Sir." Caleb leaned forward, his eyes fixed outside. "I said stop the car." The car slowed beside a dusty road where cars, buses, and bikes were pushing past one another. The sun was hot, and the air looked dry. Women were calling out to buyers. Men were carrying baskets. Children ran between small wooden tables. But Caleb did not see all of them. He saw only one woman. She stood beside a pile of green melons. Her dress was faded. Her hair was tied back with a small scarf. Sweat was on her face. One hand held a knife. The other held a small baby boy who sat on an old cloth beside the melons. The baby was trying to reach one round fruit with both tiny hands. Caleb's lips parted, but no words came out. Idris parked by the side of the road. "Sir, are you all right?" Caleb did not answer. The woman turned slightly, and the whole world seemed to stop. It was Tessa Monroe, his ex-wife, the woman he had not seen in 3 years. The woman he had told himself he hated because hate was easier than pain. Caleb's hand slowly moved to the door handle, then stopped. His fingers shook, and that made him angry because Caleb Rowan never shook. He had faced angry bankers, cheating partners, and men who wanted to ruin him, but he had never felt like this. Tessa bent down and lifted the baby from the cloth. The boy cried softly, and she pressed him to her chest. "Don't cry, Nolan," she whispered. But Caleb could not hear the words clearly from inside the car. He only saw the way her mouth moved and the way she held the child like the whole world wanted to take him from her. A woman buying melons pointed at one fruit. Tessa forced a smile and cut it open. Her smile was tired. It was not the bright smile Caleb remembered. The old Tessa used to laugh loudly when rain fell, even if her shoes got wet. She used to tell Caleb that money was not life, and Caleb used to laugh and say, "Only poor people say that." Now she was standing under the hot sun, selling melons beside a road, and there was a baby beside her. Caleb's chest tightened. "Who is that child?" he said quietly. Idris looked outside. "Sir." Caleb turned his face slowly toward him. His eyes were hard, but his voice was low. "I asked, who is that child?" Idris swallowed. "I don't know, sir." Caleb looked back at the baby. The boy had thick dark hair, round cheeks, and serious eyes that looked too deep for a child. When the baby turned toward the road, Caleb felt like someone had punched him in the chest. Those eyes, that face, that small frown. It was like looking at his own baby picture. "No," Caleb whispered. Idris heard him this time. "Sir." Caleb opened the door and stepped out before Idris could move. Heat hit his face, but he did not care. Dust touched his polished black shoes. People turned to look at him because men dressed like Caleb did not walk in places like that. His suit looked too clean for the roadside. His watch could buy every table there. But Caleb did not see the stairs. He walked toward Tessa. Tessa was placing 2 melons into a woman's bag when the woman suddenly stopped talking. Her eyes moved past Tessa's shoulder. Tessa noticed the silence and turned. The knife fell from her hand. The baby flinched and held her dress. Caleb stopped a few steps away from her. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Tessa's face changed from shock to fear, then to anger. She pulled the baby closer and stood in front of him as if her thin body could hide him from Caleb's eyes. Caleb stared at her. "Tessa." Her name came out rough like it hurt him to say it. Tessa lifted her chin. "Mr. Rowan." That cut him more than he wanted to show. "Mr. Rowan?" Caleb repeated. "That is what I am to you now?" Her eyes burned. "What else should I call you?" The women around them became quiet. Even the man selling oranges stopped shouting. Idris stood near the car, unsure if he should come closer. Caleb looked at the child again. "Who is he?" Tessa's hold on the baby tightened. That is none of your business. Caleb stepped closer. Do not say that to me. Tessa took one step back. Do not come closer. The baby looked at Caleb with wide eyes. His small mouth opened and he made a soft sound. Caleb froze again. There was a tiny dark mark near the child's left wrist. Caleb had the same kind of mark near his own wrist. His father had once called it the Rowan mark. Caleb slowly lifted his hand, but Tessa pulled the baby away fast. Don't touch him, she said. Caleb's jaw tightened. Tessa, who is this boy? She laughed once, but it was not happy. Now you want to ask questions? What does that mean? It means you lost the right to ask me anything a long time ago. Caleb's eyes flashed. I lost the right? You left me. Tessa stared at him like he had slapped her. I left you. Yes, Caleb said, his voice rising. You walked out. No call, no letter, no reason. You left our home like I meant nothing. Tessa's mouth opened, but for a second no sound came. Then she shook her head slowly. You really believe that? What else should I believe? She looked around at the watching crowd, then lowered her voice. Not here. Caleb pointed at the baby. Then tell me one thing here. Is he yours? Tessa gave him a cold look. You can see he is mine. Is he mine? The question landed between them like thunder. Tessa went still. The baby pressed his face against her neck, scared by Caleb's voice. Tessa rubbed his back and whispered, It's okay, my love. It's okay. Caleb's anger broke for one short moment when he heard that. My love. The way she said it was soft. It was the voice she used to use when he came home late and tired. The voice that once made his big empty house feel warm. Then Tessa looked back at him, and the softness was gone. Go back to your car, Caleb. He stepped closer again. Answer me. No. Tessa. I said no. Caleb's voice dropped. Look at him. Look at his face and tell me he is not mine. Tessa's eyes filled, but she blinked the tears away fast. You do not get to come here in your rich man's car, see us in the sun, and start acting like a wounded king. Caleb stared at her clothes, her cracked sandals, the dusty table, the melons, and the baby on her hip. Shame touched him, but he pushed it down because he did not know what to do with it. Why are you here? He asked. Why are you living like this? Tessa laughed again, and this time pain filled it. Living like this? This is how people live when nobody is coming to save them. His face hardened. I would have come. She looked straight into his eyes. No, Caleb, you did not. A bus horn shouted from the road, but neither of them moved. Caleb felt the world pressing around him. The dust, the sun, the staring people, the baby who looked like him, the woman he once loved standing in front of him like he was the danger. His phone rang inside his pocket. He ignored it. Idris came closer and said carefully, Sir, the meeting starts in 20 minutes. Caleb did not turn. Cancel it. Idris blinked. Sir, it is the Lecky land deal. Caleb's eyes stayed on Tessa. I said cancel it. Tessa's face changed for a second. She knew Caleb. Caleb never canceled deals. Not for rain. Not for sickness. Not for anything. Caleb took one slow breath. I am not leaving this road until you tell me the truth. Tessa held the baby tighter. Her voice shook, but she did not look away. Then you will stand here for a long time. Caleb looked at the child again, and the baby looked back at him with the same dark, serious eyes. In that moment, Caleb Rowan, the man who could buy houses, cars, and companies without blinking, stood on a dusty roadside and felt poorer than every person around him, because the child in Tessa's arms looked like his son, and Tessa was looking at him like he had already lost them both. Tessa was still holding Nolan tightly when Caleb took another step toward her. The road was loud, but around them it felt like everyone had gone quiet. A few women stood with their money in their hands. A man on a bike slowed down to look. Even Idris stayed near the car without saying a word because he could see that this was not a normal fight between two people. Caleb looked at the baby again, and his face became harder. Tessa, I asked you a question. Tessa moved Nolan to her other hip and turned her body a little, trying to hide the boy's face from him. "And I told you to leave. I am not leaving. You think because you say something, the whole world must obey?" Caleb's jaw moved like he was biting back words. "Do not turn this into a street show." Tessa gave a bitter smile. "A street show? Caleb, this is my place of work. You are the one standing here in your expensive suit, shouting like you own the road." "I am not shouting. You are scaring my son." Caleb went still when she said "my son." His eyes moved to Nolan's small fingers gripping her dress. The boy was watching him with wide eyes, and Caleb felt something strange in his chest again. It was not just shock now. It was fear, real fear, the kind of fear that made even a rich man feel small. "Your son," Caleb said slowly. "Only your son?" Tessa's eyes grew wet, but she turned away fast and picked up a melon from the table like she was busy. "Madam, please take this one," she said to the woman who had been waiting. "It is sweet." The woman looked at Caleb, then at Tessa, then shook her head and stepped back. "I will come later," Tessa swallowed. "Please, madam. I already cut it." The woman did not answer. She hurried away, and Tessa looked down at the open melon with a tired face. Caleb saw it. He saw how one customer had left because of him. He saw the small money box on the table, almost empty. He saw Nolan's little cup, the old cloth, and the small bag of baby clothes under the table. His voice became lower. "Is this what you do every day?" Tessa looked at him. "Yes." "Under this sun?" "Yes." "With him here?" "Yes, Caleb. With him here, because I do not have a glass office where people bring me cold water. I do not have a driver waiting beside a black car. I have melons. I have this table. I have my son. That is my life." Caleb's face tightened. "Why did you not ask me for help?" Tessa stared at him like she could not believe his words. "Ask you?" "Yes. Ask you?" she repeated, and her voice broke a little. "After everything?" Caleb stepped closer, but Tessa stepped back again so fast that Nolan made a small cry. She rubbed his back and kissed his head. "It's okay, my baby. It's okay." Caleb raised both hands slowly, showing he would not touch the child. "I will not hurt him." Tessa's eyes flashed. "You already did." Those words hit Caleb hard. He looked confused, then angry. "I have never seen him before today. That is not my fault. You keep saying things like I should understand them. Maybe because you should." "I don't," Caleb said. "I do not understand any of this. I do not understand why my ex-wife is selling melons on the road. I do not understand why there is a child who looks at me like I am staring at myself in a mirror. I do not understand why you are hiding him from me." Tessa held Nolan closer. "Because you came too late." Caleb's voice shook. "Too late for what?" Tessa turned away from him again and tried to arrange the melons on the table, but her hands were shaking. Caleb saw the knife lying near her foot. He bent down and picked it up by the handle, then placed it safely on the table. For a small second, Tessa looked at his hand. His wrist showed under his shirt cuff. There was a small dark birthmark there. Nolan reached out suddenly and touched Caleb's wrist. Both of them froze. Caleb looked down at the baby's small hand. Tessa quickly pulled Nolan back, but it was already too late. Caleb had seen it clearly now. On Nolan's left wrist, near the same place, there was the same dark mark. Not close, not almost, the same. Caleb's breathing changed. "Tessa." She shook her head. "No, Tessa. No, Caleb. That mark. Stop. That is my mark. It is just a mark. My father had it. I have it. And now he has it." Tessa's lips pressed together. She looked like she wanted to run, but there was nowhere to go. Behind her was the melon table. Beside her was the road. In front of her was the man she had spent 3 years trying to forget. Caleb pointed gently at Nolan, but his voice was firm. "How old is he?" Tessa looked away. "How old is he? Do not question me like I am one of your workers. I am asking about the child. He has a name." Caleb's eyes softened for half a second. "Then tell me his name." Tessa went quiet. Caleb looked at the baby, then back at her. Please. That word surprised her. Caleb Rowan did not say please often. Not before. Not when they were married. Not even when he wanted something badly. Tessa's face changed, but only for a moment. Nolan, she said. Caleb repeated the name quietly. Nolan. The baby looked at him when he heard his name. Caleb felt his throat tighten. He tried to speak, but the words came out rough. Nolan Rowan? Tessa's eyes snapped back to his. No. Caleb's face hardened again. Then whose name does he carry? Mine. Monroe. Yes. Why? Because I was the one there when he cried at night. I was the one who held him when he had fever. I was the one who worked with him on my back. I was the one who sold fruit while he slept under this table. So yes, he carries my name. Caleb looked like he had been slapped. You think I would have left my own child under a table? Tessa leaned closer, anger rising in her face. You left me with worse. I did not leave you. You keep saying that. Because it is true. No, Tessa said. It is not true to me. A silence fell between them, heavy and painful. Nolan began to whimper again, and Tessa bounced him gently. Caleb watched the way she held him, the way she knew exactly how to calm him, and something inside him cracked. He had missed the first cry, the first smile, the first step maybe, the first word. He did not even know if the boy could walk yet. If you're enjoying this video so far, consider liking the video and subscribing to my small channel. My wife promised to make me a chocolate chip cookies if I hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of 2026. So it would mean the world to me. That's it, and thanks for listening this far. Now let's continue. Caleb took a slow breath, but it did not calm him. How old is he, Tessa? She looked down at Nolan's face. 2 years and 6 months. Caleb closed his eyes for a second. When he opened them, the anger was still there, but pain was under it. 2 years and 6 months. Tessa said nothing. That means you were pregnant when you left. Tessa held Nolan's head to her shoulder and looked away. Caleb's voice became sharp. You were pregnant when you left me. She whispered. Yes. For the first time since stepping out of the car, Caleb looked like he might fall. Idris moved as if to help him, but Caleb lifted one hand without turning. Stay there. Then he looked back at Tessa. You knew. Tessa's eyes filled again. Of course I knew. And you did not tell me? That made her anger return at once. Do not do that. Do what? Do not stand here and make me look like the bad one. You had my child. I had my child. Our child. You do not get to say our like you were there. Caleb's face twisted. Why did you not tell me? Tessa laughed through tears. I tried. Caleb stared at her. What? I tried, she said again, but her voice was smaller now. I tried more than once. When? Tessa looked around at the crowd that still watched them. Not here. Caleb pointed toward his car. Then come with me. No. Then I will rent the whole street if I have to. But we are not ending this talk like this. You cannot buy your way into every pain. I am not trying to buy pain. I am trying to understand why I have a son I never knew. Tessa's voice dropped. And I am trying to protect him from a family that did not want me. Caleb went still. My family? Tessa's eyes gave away too much, and she knew it. She turned her face quickly, but Caleb had already seen the fear there. What did my family do? He asked. Tessa shook her head. I said not here. Was it my mother? Tessa's lips trembled, but she did not answer. Caleb's eyes darkened. Tessa, look at me. Was it my mother? She looked at him then, and her voice became hard again. You want answers now because you saw his face. But where were your questions 3 years ago? I asked everyone. You asked the people who wanted me gone. Caleb stepped back as if the ground had moved under him. For a few seconds, he could not speak. He looked from Tessa to Nolan, then to the birthmark on the boy's wrist. The truth was standing right in front of him, but it was too big to hold. Nolan suddenly reached toward one of the melons and said in a small voice, Mama. Caleb froze. He talks. Tessa held the boy closer. but her face softened because she could not help it. A little. Caleb's voice broke. What was his first word? Tessa looked at him with pain. Do you really want to know? Yes. It was Mama. Caleb nodded slowly, but his eyes were wet now. Of course it was. Tessa saw the tears and looked away fast, like seeing his pain made hers worse. Please leave, Caleb. He shook his head. No. You are making this harder. It should be hard. For who? For you? You can go back to your car. You can go back to your big house. I still have to stand here and sell these melons after everyone finishes watching us like a movie. Caleb turned and looked at the people around them. His face became cold again. Leave. No one moved at first. Caleb's voice rose. All of you leave. People began to step away quickly. Some carried their bags. Some whispered. Some stared until Idris moved closer, and then they left faster. Soon, the space around Tessa's table was almost empty. Tessa glared at Caleb. Are you happy now? You chased my customers away. Caleb pulled out his wallet. Tessa's face changed. Do not. He placed a thick fold of money on the table. For the melons. She grabbed the money and pushed it back at him. I said do not. Tessa, I am not begging. I did not say you were. You think money fixes shame? You think money fixes missing years? Caleb looked at the money, then slowly put it away. No, it does not. That answer surprised her, but she did not soften. Caleb looked at Nolan again. I want a test. Tessa's face hardened. A test? Yes. You mean to prove he is yours? Caleb's voice was low. I need the truth in a way no one can twist. Tessa's eyes burned. Look at his face, Caleb. Look at his wrist. Look at him. What more do you need? Caleb swallowed. I need to know how many people lied to me. That made Tessa quiet. He stepped closer, but this time he stopped before she could move back. I am not asking because I want to reject him. I am asking because if he is mine, then someone stole him from me. Someone stole you from me too. And I need to know who. Tessa looked at him for a long time. Nolan rested his head on her shoulder, tired now. His small hand still showed the dark mark on his wrist. At last, Tessa whispered, You are too late, Caleb. Caleb shook his head. Maybe, but I am here now. Her voice was cold, but tears ran down her face. Being here now does not bring back the nights I cried alone. Caleb's eyes stayed on her. Then tell me who made you cry. Tessa did not answer. She only picked up Nolan's small bag from under the table and held her son tighter, as if the answer itself was too heavy to say on that dusty roadside. Tessa held Nolan close with one arm and picked up his small bag with the other. Her fingers were tight around the handle, like she was holding on to the last piece of her life. Caleb watched her, his face full of anger and pain, but for once, he did not know which one was stronger. Tessa, don't walk away from me, he said. She did not answer. She turned to the melon table and began covering the fruits with an old cloth. Nolan's head rested on her shoulder, and his eyes were half closed. The hot sun had made him tired. Tessa moved fast, but her hands still shook. Caleb stepped closer. You said people lied to me. You said I asked the people who wanted you gone. Tell me what that means. Tessa tied the cloth around the melons and refused to look at him. It means exactly what it sounds like. That is not an answer. It is the only answer I can give you here. Then where? Caleb asked. Where do you want to talk? I will follow you. Tessa turned so sharply that Nolan lifted his head. Do not follow me like I am running from a crime. Then stop acting like I am the enemy. Her eyes became hard. For 3 years, Caleb, you were the enemy in my story. Caleb went quiet. Those words hurt him. He had been called many things. Cold, proud, wicked, hard. But he had never thought Tessa would look at him and say he was her enemy. Not Tessa. Not the woman who used to hold his hand in traffic and tell him to breathe when business made him angry. He lowered his voice. I never wanted to be your enemy. Tessa looked at him with wet eyes. But you became one. Nolan touched her cheek with his small hand, and she kissed his fingers. That little act made Caleb look away for a second because it showed him another life he had not been part of. A life where Tessa had learned to smile for their son even when she was broken. Caleb turned to Idris. "Bring the car closer." Tessa stepped back at once. "No." Caleb looked at her. "You and Nolan cannot walk in this heat. We walked here. That does not make it right. I did not ask you what is right. Tessa, please." Again, the word please left his mouth, and again, it shook her. She looked at him like she wanted to hate him, but her face was tired. Nolan rubbed his eyes and began to cry softly. Tessa breathed out. "There is a small shade behind that closed shop." Caleb looked toward the old shop beside the road. Its metal door was locked, but a broken roof stretched forward and gave a little shade. "Then we talk there." "I said talk, Caleb, not decide my life." "I heard you." "No, you don't hear. You command. You push. You throw money at problems. You make everyone move because Caleb Rowan has spoken." He held her gaze. "Then speak first." Tessa stared at him for a long moment, then carried Nolan toward the shade. Caleb followed slowly, not too close. Idris stayed near the car, watching the melon table. Tessa sat on a low wooden bench under the shade and placed Nolan on her lap. Caleb stood in front of her, but she looked up and said, "Sit down or leave. I am tired of looking up at you like you are above me." Caleb did not argue. He sat on an empty crate across from her. His suit folded awkwardly, and dust touched his trousers, but he did not care. For a moment, only the road spoke. Cars passed. Traders shouted. A dog barked somewhere. Nolan's soft breathing slowed as he leaned against Tessa. Caleb said, "Tell me what happened." Tessa kept her eyes on Nolan. "You want the truth?" "Yes." "Then don't cut me off." "I won't." "And don't call me a liar." Caleb swallowed. "I won't." Tessa looked at him then. "The day I left your house, I did not leave because I stopped loving you. I left because I believed you had already thrown me away." Caleb's brows pulled together. "What are you talking about? You promised you would come home early that night." "I remember." "No, you remember your part. You don't remember mine." Caleb leaned forward. "Then tell me yours." Tessa looked down and rubbed Nolan's back. "I had found out I was pregnant that morning. I was scared, but happy. I bought a small pair of baby socks from the market. Yellow ones. I put them inside a little box. I wanted to give them to you after dinner." Caleb's face changed. "You were going to tell me that night?" "Yes." His voice became quiet. "I came home and you were gone. Because your mother came before you." Caleb's eyes sharpened. "My mother came to the house?" Tessa nodded. "With your Uncle Gideon and one of your family lawyers." Caleb sat back slowly. "No." "Yes. My mother told me she had not seen you that week." Tessa smiled sadly. "Of course she did." Caleb shook his head. "What did she say to you?" Tessa breathed in, but the breath shook. "She said I had become a problem. She said I was slowing you down. She said the board was worried because you had married a woman with no strong family name. She said people were laughing behind your back." Caleb's fist closed. "She had no right. She did not stop there." "What else?" Tessa looked him straight in the eyes. "She said you had agreed." Caleb stood so fast the crate moved under him. "That is a lie." Nolan jumped at the sound, and Tessa held him tight. "Lower your voice." Caleb forced himself to sit again, but his chest was rising and falling fast. "I never agreed to anything like that." Tessa's eyes grew cold. "I know what you are saying now, but that day, I did not know that." "What proof did she give you?" Tessa laughed once, but it sounded broken. "You want to know the worst part? She came prepared." Caleb's face went still. "She showed me pictures," Tessa said. "Clear pictures. You and a woman at a hotel. You were holding her hand. She was wearing a red dress. You were smiling at her like you used to smile at me when we were alone." Caleb shook his head slowly. "No, I never did that. I saw it." "You saw something, but it was not what they told you." "She also showed me messages." "What messages?" Tessa's voice lowered. "Messages from your phone number." Messages saying you were tired of me. Messages saying you wanted a clean end. Messages saying your family was right about me. Caleb stared at her. That never came from me. I read them with my own eyes. My phone was stolen for 2 days around that time. Tessa blinked. What? Caleb leaned forward, his voice hard but controlled. My phone went missing at the office. My assistant said it was found later in my mother's car. She said maybe I left it there. I did not think much of it because I trusted her. Tessa's face twisted with pain. So you are telling me this now? I did not know those messages existed. Tessa shook her head and looked away. There was also a document. Caleb went quiet. What document? A divorce paper. His eyes darkened. I never signed one. It had your signature. I did not sign it. It looked like yours. Tessa, people can copy a signature. I did not know that then, she said, her voice breaking. I was 24, pregnant, scared, and standing in a house where everyone looked at me like I was dirt on the floor. Your mother told me if I stayed, you would hate me. She said if I loved you, I should leave quietly before the news became ugly. Caleb's eyes were now full of tears, but he held them back. And you believed her? Tessa stared at him. What was I supposed to believe? Your mother was standing in our living room with pictures, messages, papers, and your lawyer. He was not my lawyer. He was my family's lawyer. To me, he was part of your world, and I was alone. Caleb looked down at the dusty ground. For the first time, he saw it. Not all of it, but enough. Tessa in their big house, his mother's cold voice, Gideon standing there, papers spread out, a young woman holding a secret baby inside her and being told the man she loved did not want her anymore. His voice was rough. Why did you not wait for me? Tessa's eyes filled again. I did. Caleb looked up. I waited, she said. I sat in that room until evening. I kept telling myself, Caleb will come home and laugh at all this. Caleb will say it is a lie. Caleb will hold me. Caleb will protect me. Caleb whispered, I would have, but you did not come. I was in a meeting out of town. My mother told me you left in the morning. I left at night. Caleb's face went pale. Tessa nodded slowly. I waited until it was dark. Then your mother came back into the room and said you had called her. She said you knew I was still there and you refused to come home until I left. Caleb's voice shook with anger. No. She said you did not want a scene. No. She said the driver would take me wherever I wanted, but I could not take anything from the house except my clothes. Caleb pressed his hand to his mouth, trying to hold himself together. Tessa continued, because now that the door had opened, the pain poured out. I carried my small bag. I carried the yellow baby socks in my hand. I was still going to leave them for you. Can you believe that? Even after all that, I wanted you to know. But your mother took the box from me. Caleb's eyes lifted sharply. She took it. She said I had no right to use a baby to trap you. Caleb's voice became deadly quiet. She knew you were pregnant? Tessa looked away. Caleb leaned closer. Tessa, did she know? Tessa nodded once. Yes. Caleb closed his eyes, and this time one tear fell. He wiped it away quickly, angry at himself for showing it, but Tessa saw. She told me if I ever came back with a child, she would say I had been with another man. She said no one would believe me over the Rowan family. Caleb stood again, but this time he turned away. His whole body was stiff. My mother did this. Tessa's voice was small. Your mother, your uncle, your lawyer, your house, your name. All of it stood against me. Caleb turned back. Not me. Tessa looked at him for a long time. But you were the only one I needed. Those words made him silent. Nolan stirred and opened his eyes. He looked at Caleb, then at Tessa, then reached for her necklace. Tessa kissed his head again and whispered, It's okay. Caleb watched them, his face full of pain. I searched for you. Tessa's eyes became hard again. Where? Everywhere I knew. You searched where rich people search. Hotels, airports, banks, big houses. You did not search roadside markets. You did not search small rooms behind shops. You did not search hospitals where women give birth with no one beside them. Caleb flinched. I gave birth to Nolan in a small clinic, Tessa said. The nurse asked for the father's name, and I could not speak. I cried so hard she stopped asking. Caleb's voice broke. I should have been there. Yes, Tessa said. You should have. I did not know. And that is the part that hurts the most, she whispered. Because maybe you did not know. Maybe you really did not know. But I was still alone. Caleb took one step closer. Tessa, come with me now. Let me take you and Nolan somewhere safe. Not my mother's house. Not my family's house. Anywhere you choose. A hotel. Private apartment. I will not force anything. She shook her head. No, Tessa. No, Caleb. You heard the story and now you feel pain. But pain today does not build trust in 1 hour. I am not asking you to trust me in 1 hour. I am asking you not to run. I stopped running a long time ago. I am standing here. Then let me stand here too. She looked at him with tired eyes. You can stand. But do not think standing means you are forgiven. Caleb nodded slowly. I know. And do not think Nolan becomes yours just because you finally saw his face. Caleb's eyes moved to the boy. He was always mine, even when I did not know. Tessa's voice sharpened. No. He was always mine because I stayed. Caleb accepted the hit without fighting back. You are right. That answer made Tessa pause. Caleb looked at her, and his voice became low. But if what you said is true, then my mother took my wife from me and hid my child from me. I cannot go back to my old life after hearing that. Tessa held Nolan closer. What will you do? Caleb's face hardened in a way she remembered well. It was the face he used when a business enemy had made a mistake. I will go home, he said, and I will ask my mother one question. Tessa's eyes narrowed. What question? Caleb looked at Nolan's small wrist, then back at Tessa. I will ask her why she stole my son. Caleb did not wait for Tessa to answer. He turned away from the shade and walked back toward his car like a man carrying fire in his chest. Idris opened the back door for him, but Caleb did not enter at once. He looked back at Tessa and Nolan one last time. Tessa was still sitting under the broken roof, holding Nolan close. Her face was tired, but her eyes followed Caleb like she was afraid of what he would do next. Nolan rested his head on her shoulder, but his small eyes stayed on Caleb too. Caleb's voice came out low. Do not leave this place yet. Tessa's face hardened. You do not give me orders. I am not ordering you. It sounds like one. Caleb took a breath and tried again. Please, give me 1 hour. Tessa looked away. And if I go? Caleb's eyes moved to Nolan. Then I will find you. But I do not want to find you like a man chasing you. I want to come back like a man who has answers. Tessa did not promise anything. She only held Nolan tighter and looked down. Caleb knew that was the most she could give him. So he entered the car and Idris shut the door. The car pulled away from the roadside, but Caleb kept looking back through the window until the melon table became small behind them. His hands were locked together on his knees. His face was calm from outside, but inside him, everything was breaking. Idris looked at him through the mirror. Sir, should I take you to the office or the meeting house? Caleb's voice was cold. Take me home. Idris swallowed. Yes, sir. For the first few minutes, Caleb said nothing. The city moved around him, loud and busy, but he heard only Tessa's voice in his head. Your mother took the box from me. She knew I was pregnant. She said no one would believe me over the Rowan family. Caleb pressed his fingers against his forehead. He remembered that time 3 years ago. He remembered coming home to an empty room. He remembered his mother standing by the stairs, dressed in white, her face sad but dry. She left, Caleb, Priscilla had said that night. I am sorry. I tried to talk to her, but she was already packed. He had believed her. He had hated Tessa for leaving. He had buried the pain under work, deals, and anger. Now the anger was looking for a new place to land. When the car entered the tall black gate of the Rowan mansion, the guard stood straight. The house was huge, with white walls, clean glass, and a garden that looked too perfect. It was the same house where Caleb had grown up. The same house where his mother ruled with soft words and hard eyes. Before Idris could open the door, Caleb stepped out. "Sir," Idris said, hurrying after him. "Should I come with you?" "No." Caleb walked into the house. The maid near the door bowed quickly. "Welcome, sir. Where is my mother?" The maid looked scared. "Madam is in the blue sitting room." Caleb did not answer. He walked past her, his shoes hitting the floor with heavy sounds. The house was quiet, but that quiet felt false now. It felt like the walls had been hiding secrets for years. Priscilla Rowan sat in the blue sitting room, drinking tea from a small white cup. She was a beautiful woman in her late 60s, with smooth gray hair pulled back neatly and gold earrings shining at her ears. She always looked calm. Even when trouble entered the room, Priscilla liked to act as if she had invited it. She looked up and smiled when Caleb entered. "My son," she said, "you are home early. I thought you had the Lecky land deal." Caleb stood in the doorway. "I canceled it." Priscilla's smile paused for only a second. "That is not like you." "No, it is not." She placed her cup down slowly. "Is something wrong?" Caleb walked into the room. "I saw Tessa today." Priscilla's hand stopped near the cup. It was small, very small, but Caleb saw it. Then she lifted the cup again and took a calm sip. "Tessa?" "Yes." "How strange. After all these years." Caleb watched her closely. "Yes, strange." Priscilla gave a soft sigh. "I hope she is well. She is selling melons by the roadside." This time Priscilla did not move at all. Her face stayed calm, but her eyes changed, just a little. "Is she?" she asked. Caleb came closer. "That is all you have to say? What do you want me to say, Caleb?" "She chose her life. She chose it. She left you. We all remember that." Caleb leaned forward. "Do we?" Priscilla's face tightened. "What does that mean?" "It means I am starting to wonder who told the truth and who told a story." Priscilla put the cup down again, this time harder. "Be careful." Caleb gave a bitter laugh. "Be careful? That is funny coming from you." She stood up. "I will not be spoken to like one of your workers." "Then answer like my mother." "I have nothing to answer." Caleb stepped closer. "Did you go to my house the day Tessa left?" Priscilla's eyes narrowed. "Why are you asking me old questions?" "Because old questions have new blood on them." "That is a strange thing to say." "Did you go there?" Priscilla turned away and walked to the window. "I may have gone there. That was 3 years ago." "With Uncle Gideon?" She was silent. "With a lawyer?" Her shoulders became stiff. "Tessa has been filling your head." Caleb's voice rose. "Answer me." Priscilla turned around, her face now cold. "Yes, I went there. Your marriage was falling apart. Someone had to speak sense." "My marriage was not falling apart. You were blind. I loved her. She was not right for you." The words sat in the room like smoke. Caleb stared at his mother. "Say that again." Priscilla lifted her chin. "She was not right for you. She was sweet, yes, but sweet does not build a family name. Sweet does not protect an empire. Sweet does not sit beside you in boardrooms while men are waiting for weakness." Caleb's voice dropped. "So you decided to remove her. I protected you. You destroyed me." Priscilla's eyes flashed. "Do not be dramatic." Caleb laughed once, but it had no joy. "Dramatic? I saw my ex-wife under the sun today. I saw her selling fruit with cracked hands while my son sat beside her on an old cloth." Priscilla's face changed before she could stop it. There it was. Fear. Caleb saw it clearly. He took one slow step toward her. "You knew." Priscilla turned away fast. "Knew what?" "Do not insult me. I do not know what you are talking about." "Tessa has a child." Priscilla said nothing. "A boy." Still nothing. "He is 2 years and 6 months old." Priscilla's hand moved to the back of the chair. She held it too tightly. Caleb's voice became sharp. "He has the Rowan mark on his wrist." Priscilla closed her eyes for 1 second. That 1 second was enough. Caleb whispered, "My God!" She opened her eyes. "Caleb, listen to me." "No, you listen to me. You are upset. I am past upset. You do not know if the child is yours." Caleb's face became dark. "Do not say that. I am only saying the truth. Women can be clever when money is involved." Caleb stepped so close that Priscilla had to look up at him. "That woman was my wife. And she left you. Because of you. She left because she was weak." Caleb's voice shook with anger. "She was pregnant." Priscilla looked away. Caleb grabbed the back of another chair, not to hurt her, but to stop himself from breaking something. "Say you did not know." Priscilla kept quiet. "Say it," Caleb said. "Look at me and say you did not know she was carrying my child." Priscilla's lips trembled, but her voice stayed cold. "It was not that simple." Caleb stared at her like he did not know her. "You knew. She said she was pregnant. She said. I had no proof." Caleb's laugh came out broken. "No proof? She was your daughter-in-law. She was scared. She came with baby socks. And you asked for proof." Priscilla's face hardened again. "I asked for wisdom. You were about to lose everything for love. Your uncle warned me. The board was restless. People were already saying she had trapped you. No one said that but you. You do not understand what it means to carry this family name." "I understand now," Caleb said. "It means you can crush a woman and call it protection." Priscilla's eyes filled with angry tears. "I gave my life to this family. Your father left me with debts, enemies, and a son to raise. I fought for this name. I fought so you could stand tall. And when I found someone who loved me without caring about the name, you chased her away. She would have made you small. She made me human." Priscilla flinched. Caleb's voice became quieter, and that made it more painful. "Did you show her fake pictures?" Priscilla looked at him. "Did you send messages from my phone?" She said nothing. Caleb nodded slowly, his eyes burning. "So the phone was not lost." Priscilla's face tightened. "I did what had to be done." Caleb stepped back as if her words had pushed him. "You used my phone. She needed to believe you were done. You made my wife hate me. I made her leave before she ruined you." Caleb pointed toward the door. "She gave birth alone." Priscilla's lips pressed together, but she did not answer. "She raised my son alone." Still nothing. "She sold melons on the roadside while your grandchild sat in the dirt." Priscilla's face broke for half a second at the word grandchild. Caleb saw pain there, but it did not save her. "Do not call him that," Caleb said. Priscilla looked up. "What? Do not call him your grandchild. You lost that right before you even saw his face." Her eyes filled now. "Caleb, no. I was trying to protect you. You keep saying that like it makes evil clean." Priscilla touched her chest. "I am your mother, and Tessa was my wife. She was not strong enough for this family." Caleb leaned close again. "She was stronger than all of us. She carried a child alone, worked alone, cried alone, and still stood in front of me today without begging. That is strength." Priscilla's mouth opened, but no words came. Caleb turned toward the door. "Where are you going?" she asked. "To find the rest of the truth." "There is no rest." Caleb stopped and looked back. "There is always more when people like you say there is nothing." Priscilla's face went pale. That fear returned again. Not loud, not open, but clear enough for Caleb to see. "What else are you hiding?" he asked. Priscilla gripped the chair again. "Nothing." Caleb walked back toward her slowly. "Mother." She looked away. "What else did Tessa leave behind?" Priscilla did not answer. Caleb's eyes moved around the room, to the locked cabinet near the wall, to the old family desk, to the hallway leading toward his mother's private study. His voice became cold. "You kept something," Priscilla whispered. "Leave it alone." Caleb's heart beat hard. "What did you keep?" She looked at him with fear and anger mixed together. "Caleb, if you open old wounds, they will bleed on everyone." He held her gaze. "Good. Then he turned and walked toward her private study, while Priscilla stood frozen behind him, looking like a woman who had just heard the first crack in a wall she had built with lies. Caleb walked down the hall toward his mother's private study, and every step sounded loud in the quiet house. Priscilla followed behind him, but she did not walk like a proud woman anymore. Her steps were quick and uneven, like she was trying to catch a storm before it reached her door. "Caleb," she said. "Stop." He did not stop. "Caleb, I am warning you." That made him turn around. His eyes were red, but his voice was cold. "Warning me? After what I heard today, you still think you can warn me?" Priscilla lifted her chin, but her hands were shaking. "That room has private family papers." Caleb gave a slow, bitter smile. "Then it is the right room." He pushed open the study door. The room smelled of old wood, leather books, and expensive perfume. Everything inside was neat. Too neat. The desk was clean. The curtains were half closed. A large painting of Caleb's late father hung on the wall, staring down like he knew every secret in the house. Caleb stepped inside and looked around. He had entered this room many times as a boy, but only when his mother allowed it. Priscilla had always said the study was where family matters were kept safe. Now Caleb understood that safe did not always mean good. Priscilla stood by the door. "You are angry. You will break things and regret it." Caleb looked at her. "I already regret things, but not this." He walked to the desk and opened the top drawer. Papers, pens, a small key box. He pulled out files and placed them on the table. Priscilla rushed forward. "Do not touch those." Caleb ignored her and opened another drawer. "Caleb, enough." He turned sharply. "Where is it?" She froze. "Where is what?" "Whatever Tessa left." Priscilla's face tightened. "She left nothing. You told me to leave it alone. People only say that when there is something to find. She left this family. That is all." "No," Caleb said. "She left with fear in her eyes, a baby inside her, and your threats behind her. But I know Tessa. Even hurt, she would have tried to tell me the truth. So I am asking one last time. What did she leave for me?" Priscilla's mouth opened, but no words came out. Caleb looked past her to the tall, dark cabinet near the wall. He remembered that cabinet. His mother kept the key on a gold chain she wore only when she was at home. He looked at her neck. The chain was there. His eyes dropped to it. Priscilla stepped back. "No." Caleb held out his hand. "Give me the key. It is not yours. This is my house too. It was your father's house before it became yours, and I protected it when you were too young to know what enemies looked like." Caleb's voice rose. "Do not hide behind my father." Priscilla's eyes flashed. "Everything I did because your father failed to protect us." "No. Everything you did because you wanted to control me. I wanted you safe. You wanted me alone." Those words made Priscilla silent. Caleb stepped closer. "Give me the key." She touched the chain on her neck. "There is nothing in there that will help you. Then you should not be afraid." "I am not afraid." Caleb looked at her hand gripping the key. "You are." Priscilla stared at him for a long time, then turned her face away. "You will hate me." Caleb's voice became quiet. "I already do not know who you are." That hurt her. He saw it, but he did not take the words back. Priscilla slowly removed the chain from her neck. The key shook in her hand as she held it out. Caleb took it without thanking her. He walked to the cabinet and unlocked it. Inside were old boxes, sealed envelopes, and thick files with family names on them. Caleb started pulling them out one by one. Priscilla stood behind him, breathing hard. "Not that one," she said suddenly. Caleb stopped. His hand was on a small brown box at the back of the cabinet. It looked old but not dusty. Someone had touched it before, maybe many times. Caleb pulled it out. Priscilla whispered, "Caleb, please." He looked at her. "Now you say please?" She closed her eyes. Caleb placed the box on the desk. There was no lock on it, only a ribbon tied around it. His fingers paused on the ribbon because suddenly he was afraid too. He had wanted proof, but proof could cut deeper than doubt. Still, he opened it. The first thing he saw was a tiny pair of yellow baby socks. Caleb stopped breathing. The room became silent. Priscilla covered her mouth, but Caleb did not look at her. He picked up the small socks with both hands like they were made of glass. They were soft, faded with time, but clean. One sock had a small white button shaped like a star. His voice broke. "She told me about these." Priscilla said nothing. Caleb held the socks tighter. "She said she bought yellow socks." He looked into the box again. Under the socks was an envelope. It was folded once and marked with his name, Caleb Rowan. The writing was Tessa's. He knew it at once. She always wrote his name with a soft curve on the C. He used to tease her about it. He used to say, "Even my name looks gentle when you write it." His hand shook as he opened the envelope. Priscilla moved forward. "Caleb, do not read that now." He looked at her with dark eyes. "Move back." She was hurt when she wrote it. She was my wife when she wrote it. "And you are not ready." Caleb laughed under his breath. "You took 3 years from me, and now you want to decide when I am ready?" Priscilla stepped back. Caleb unfolded the letter. The paper was old, but the words were clear. He stared at the first line for a long time before he could read it out loud. "My Caleb," he said softly. His voice almost failed, but he forced himself to continue. "If this letter reaches you, then maybe there is still a small chance you will hear me before you believe the worst." Caleb stopped and closed his eyes. Tessa had been begging him through paper while he had been believing lies. Priscilla whispered, "I was going to burn it." Caleb opened his eyes slowly. "What?" She looked down. "I was going to burn it, but I could not." He stared at her. "Why?" Priscilla's voice was small. "Because it had the baby socks inside. Because for one moment, I felt like a monster." Caleb's face twisted. "One moment." She said nothing. He looked back at the letter and kept reading. "I am pregnant. I wanted to tell you tonight with the little socks. But your mother says you already know and you do not want me anymore. I do not know what to believe. My hands are shaking as I write this because I keep waiting for you to enter the room and say it is all a lie." Caleb sat down slowly in the chair. His knees felt weak. The letter shook in his hand. Priscilla turned away, but he continued. "If those messages were truly from you, then I will not force myself where I am not wanted. I will not use our baby to beg for love. But if they are not from you, Caleb, please find me. Please ask questions. Please do not let them tell the story for me." Caleb pressed the letter to his lips for 1 second, but it did not stop the pain. His eyes filled, and this time he did not wipe the tears away. "She asked me to find her," he whispered. "She asked me to ask questions." Priscilla's voice trembled. "I thought it was better if you hated her." Caleb looked up slowly. "Better for who?" "For you." "No," he said. "Better for you." Priscilla shook her head. "You do not understand. I saw the way you loved her. I saw how you were ready to step away from everything for that girl. She was not that girl. She was my wife. You were changing. I was happy. You were becoming soft." Caleb stood with the letter in his hand. "You keep saying soft like it is dirty. Loving my wife was not weakness. Wanting my child was not weakness. Trusting my home was not weakness." Priscilla's eyes filled with tears. "I was scared." Caleb stared at her. Tessa was scared too, but she did not destroy people because of it. He turned back to the box. Under the envelope was another folded paper. Caleb picked it up and opened it. It was a clinic paper. The date was 3 years old. Tessa Monroe, pregnant. First visit. His hand tightened. "You had proof," he said. Priscilla looked at the floor. "You had proof she was pregnant." Priscilla's voice was barely above a whisper. "She dropped it when she was leaving. And you kept it. I did not know what to do. You knew exactly what to do. You hid it." Caleb opened another small paper. It was a note shorter than the letter. Tessa must have written it in a hurry. "Please give this to Caleb if he comes home after I leave. Tell him I waited. Tell him I did not want to go." Caleb's face broke. He sat down again because his legs could no longer hold him. The proud man from the roadside, the man who made people fear him, now sat in his mother's study holding old papers like they were pieces of his own life. "She waited," he said. Priscilla cried quietly now. "I know. She waited until night." "Yes. You told me she left in the morning." Priscilla nodded, tears on her face. "You told me she packed happily." "I lied." "You told me she did not want children." Priscilla covered her face. Caleb stood again, and his voice shook with pain. "How many lies did you build between us?" Priscilla dropped her hands. "Enough to make sure she never came back." The room went dead quiet. Caleb stared at her like that answer had ended something inside him. Then he folded the letter carefully. He placed the clinic paper and the small note back into the envelope. He picked up the yellow socks and held them against his chest for a moment. Priscilla took a step toward him. "Caleb, please. I know I did wrong. I know that now, but I am still your mother." Caleb looked at her, and his voice was calm in a way that scared her more than shouting. "You were my mother when you did it too." She stopped. He placed the envelope inside his jacket pocket, then put the baby socks in his hand. "Where are you going?" Priscilla asked. Caleb walked to the door. "To return what you stole." Priscilla called after him. "And what about me?" Caleb stopped in the doorway but did not turn around. "For the first time in my life," he said, "you are going to wait for someone else to decide what happens next." Then he left the study with Tessa's forgotten letter in his pocket and their baby's yellow socks in his hand, while Priscilla stood alone among the open boxes, finally trapped in the silence she had created. Caleb walked out of the Rowan mansion with Tessa's letter in his pocket and the little yellow baby socks held tight in his hand. The sun was still hot, but he did not feel it the same way anymore. When he first saw Tessa by the roadside, he had felt shock. Now he felt shame. It sat heavy in his chest and followed him into the car like another person. Idris opened the door quickly. "Sir, where are we going?" Caleb sat in the back seat and looked at the socks in his palm. They were so small, too small. He kept thinking of Tessa holding them 3 years ago, standing in that big house, waiting for him to come home and save her from a lie. "Back to the roadside," Caleb said. Idris looked at him through the mirror. "Sir, are you sure she will still be there?" Caleb closed his hand around the socks. "She has nowhere else to go." He hated himself as soon as he said it because it was true. Tessa had nowhere else to go, and that was because nobody had stood beside her when she needed help. Not his mother, not his family, not even him. The car moved through traffic, but Caleb felt like it was crawling. His phone kept ringing. He saw calls from board members, lawyers, and business partners. He turned the phone off. For the first time in years, money could not pull him away from something more important. When they got near the roadside, Caleb leaned forward. "Slow down." Idris slowed the car. The melon table was still there. Tessa was still there too. She had not packed everything. She stood beside the table with Nolan sleeping against her chest. The old cloth covered some of the melons, and her small money box was still open. Caleb felt relief so strong that he had to take a breath. "She waited," he whispered. Idris parked. "Do you want me to come with you, sir?" "No." Caleb stepped out alone. This time, the people around the roadside did not stare at his suit first. They stared at his face. Something about him had changed. He did not walk like a man coming to ask questions. He walked like a man coming to carry blame. Tessa saw him before he reached her. Her eyes moved to his hand, then to his face. "You came back," she said. Caleb stopped a few steps away. "You stayed. I said I did not promise you anything." "I know." Her eyes dropped again to his hand. "What is that?" Caleb opened his fingers. The yellow socks rested in his palm. Tessa's face went still. For a few seconds, she did not breathe right. Her lips parted, and the hand on Nolan's back tightened. Caleb saw the pain return to her eyes, fresh and sharp, like the 3 years had not passed at all. "Where did you get those?" she whispered. Caleb's voice was low. "My mother kept them." Tessa looked away fast, but tears came anyway. "She kept them?" "Yes. She took them from me like they were dirty." I know. No, Caleb, Tessa said, shaking her head. You do not know. You did not see her face that night. You did not hear her say I was trying to trap you. You did not hear her say my baby would never carry your name. Caleb swallowed hard. I read your letter. Tessa's eyes snapped back to him. My letter. He slowly reached into his jacket and brought out the envelope. She kept that too. Tessa stared at it like it was a ghost. I thought she threw it away. She almost did. A bitter laugh escaped Tessa, but it broke into a sob. Of course, even my pain had to wait inside her drawer. Caleb stepped closer, then stopped when she tensed. I am sorry. Tessa wiped her cheek with the back of her hand. Do not say sorry like it is small. It is not small. You are right. It is not small. It is 3 years. It is hospital nights. It is rent I could not pay. It is people looking at me like I was foolish for having a baby alone. It is Nolan asking for food when I had nothing but water and one small piece of bread. Caleb's face twisted with pain. Tessa, no, let me talk. You had your turn when you were angry. Now I have mine. He nodded. Talk. She held Nolan closer, but her voice grew stronger. Do you know what it is like to carry a baby and cry quietly so he will not feel it? Do you know what it is like to give birth and wish the baby's father was outside the door, only to remember he may not even want you alive in his world? Caleb's eyes filled. I wanted you. You did not come. I did not know. That is the part that keeps breaking me, she said. Because maybe you did not know. Maybe your mother really blocked everything. Maybe the messages were fake. Maybe the papers were fake. But I still lived the pain like it was real. Caleb looked down at the socks in his hand. I cannot change what happened. No, you cannot. But I can help now. Tessa's face closed at once. There it is. Caleb looked confused. What? The rich man answer. Tessa, please. No. You heard my pain and your first answer is help. Money. A house. A car. A nurse. A school. That is what men like you do. You see a broken wall and you send workers. You see hunger and you send food. But Caleb, I am not a project. I never said you were. You did not have to say it. Caleb stepped closer, his voice rough. Then tell me what to do. Tessa looked at him with tired eyes. I do not know. I will rent you a better place. No. I will get a doctor for Nolan. No. I will pay for everything he needs. No. Caleb's pain turned into panic. Why are you saying no before you even think? Because your money comes too easily. That does not make it bad. It becomes bad when it walks in before trust. Caleb opened his mouth, then closed it. For once, he had no quick answer. Tessa took a slow breath. You think help means giving, but I learned that help can also become a rope around someone's neck. Your mother offered help too. She offered a driver. She offered silence. She offered to make things clean. That help almost killed me inside. I am not my mother. Tessa looked at him sharply. Then prove it slowly. Caleb stared at her. She continued, do not come here and move us like property. Do not come with your people and your plans. Do not decide that because Nolan looks like you can carry him into your world today. Caleb's voice was soft now. I would never take him from you. You say that today because you are full of guilt. No, I say it because he needs you. Tessa looked down at Nolan's sleeping face. Her anger shook, but she held it together. He knows me. He knows my voice. He knows my hands. When thunder sounds, he reaches for me. When he is hungry, he looks at me. When he falls, he calls me. You cannot buy those years. Caleb's eyes stayed on the boy. I know. Do you? Yes. Then stop trying to fix 3 years in one afternoon. Caleb lowered his head. The roadside was still busy around them. But to him, everything had become quiet again. Tessa's words were not cruel. They were true, and that made them harder to fight. He looked at the melon table, at the fruit cut open under the cloth, at the small knife, at the empty money box. Then he looked at Tessa, and he did something no one on that road expected. Caleb Rowan went down on one knee in the dust. Tessa froze. "Caleb, stand up." He did not. People nearby stopped moving. Idris stepped halfway out of the car, shocked, but Caleb lifted one hand to stop him. Tessa's face filled with fear and anger. "Stand up. People are watching. Let them watch. Do not do this. I should have done this years ago." Her voice shook. "Done what? Come low enough to hear you." Tessa stared at him, tears building again. Caleb held the yellow socks up with both hands. "I am not asking you to forgive me today. I am not asking you to love me today. I am not asking you to come back to my house. I am asking you to let me earn one small place in Nolan's life." Tessa's lips trembled. "You think kneeling changes everything? No. Then why are you doing it?" "Because standing over you has done enough damage." That broke something in her face. She looked away, trying not to cry, but the tears came. Caleb's voice stayed low. "I failed you even if I did not know the whole truth. I should have asked more questions. I should have searched harder. I should have known that the woman I loved would not just leave without a wound behind it." Tessa whispered, "I waited for you. I know." "No, Caleb. I need you to hear me. I waited." He nodded, tears on his face now. "I hear you. I sat in that room until my chest hurt. I know. I kept thinking your car would enter the compound. I should have come. I kept thinking, once he sees me, he will know I am telling the truth." Caleb's voice broke. "I should have seen you." Tessa closed her eyes. "But you did not." "No," he said. "I did not." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Nolan shifted in Tessa's arms and opened his sleepy eyes. He looked down at Caleb kneeling in the dust. Then he reached one small hand toward the yellow socks. Caleb looked at Tessa, asking without words. Tessa hesitated. Her whole body seemed to fight itself. Then, slowly, she stepped closer and let Nolan touch the socks. The boy grabbed one sock in his little hand and held it with sleepy interest. Caleb almost smiled, but the pain stopped it. "Hi, Nolan," he said softly. Nolan stared at him. Tessa whispered, "He does not know you." Caleb nodded. "Then I will start with hello." Tessa looked at him for a long time. "And if I say you cannot come near us?" Caleb's face tightened, but he answered carefully. "Then I will wait where you tell me to wait." "You would accept that?" "I would hate it," he said, "but I would accept it." "Why?" "Because this time, I will not let my need become another cage for you." Tessa's eyes searched his face like she was trying to find the old Caleb, the proud Caleb, the Caleb who always had to win. She saw pain, she saw guilt, but she also saw something new. Fear. Not fear of losing money, not fear of losing power, fear of losing them again. Still, she stepped back. "I cannot take your money," she said. Caleb slowly stood, but he kept his head lowered. "Tessa, Nolan needs things. I know what my son needs. I am not saying you do not. He needs food. He needs medicine. He needs clothes. I know all that. But he also needs a mother who can look herself in the mirror and know she did not sell her pain because the man who caused it came back with a full wallet." Caleb held the letter against his chest. "Then what can I give?" Tessa's voice was quiet. "Truth. I have given you what I found." "No, that is the past truth. I want today's truth." "What do you mean?" "I want to know if you came back because you love us, or because your mother stole something that belonged to you." Caleb went still. Tessa's eyes were wet, but her voice did not shake now. "There is a difference, Caleb. A child is not a lost car. A woman is not a lost house key. You do not find us and just take us back." Caleb nodded slowly. "You are right. I know I am." He took a breath. "Then here is today's truth. I do not know how to be Nolan's father yet. I do not know how to make you trust me. I do not know how to look at myself after what my family did. But I know this. When I saw you under that sun, something in me stopped pretending. I still love you, Tessa. I think I never stopped. I only buried it under anger because I thought you chose to leave me." Tessa looked hurt by the words, not healed. "Do not say love like it solves hunger," she said. "It does not. Do not say love like it fixes rent. It does not. Do not say love like it brings back the day Nolan was born. Caleb's eyes filled again. It does not. Then what does it do? Caleb looked at her, lost and honest. Maybe nothing unless I prove it. Tessa breathed out slowly. She looked down at Nolan, who was now holding the yellow sock against his chest. Then she looked at Caleb again. I will not come with you, she said. Caleb's face fell, but he nodded. Okay. I will not take your house. Okay. I will not take your car. Okay. I will not take your money today. His voice was soft. Okay. But you can come tomorrow morning, she said. Caleb lifted his eyes. Tessa's face stayed serious. Not to carry us away. Not with lawyers. Not with your mother. Not with cameras. You can come here to the same table and you can sit. If Nolan cries, you do not touch him unless I say so. If he does not want you, you do not force him. If I tell you to leave, you leave. Caleb nodded slowly, like every word was a promise being written into him. I will come. And Caleb, yes. She held his gaze. Do not break one more promise to my child. Caleb looked at Nolan, then at Tessa. I won't, he said. Tessa did not smile. She did not forgive him. She did not move closer. She only turned back to her melon table with her son in her arms and the yellow sock still in Nolan's hand. Caleb stood there in the dust, knowing he had not won anything. But for the first time in 3 years, Tessa had left a door open by the smallest crack. And Caleb knew that if he wanted to pass through it, he would have to come without pride. The next morning, Caleb came back to the roadside without his driver stepping out first, without guards, without lawyers, and without his mother. He wore a simple white shirt and dark trousers, but everyone still knew he was not from that place. His car was too clean. His shoes were too fine. His face was too serious. Tessa saw him before he reached the melon table. She was placing fresh melons in a neat line, while Nolan sat on the old cloth beside her, holding one of the yellow socks in his small hand. The moment Caleb saw the sock, his steps slowed. Tessa noticed and looked away. You came. Caleb stopped at the edge of the table. You told me I could. I said you could sit. He nodded. Then I will sit. There was an old wooden stool beside the table. Caleb looked at it, then sat down without complaint. His knees almost touched the melon baskets. Dust stained the side of his shoe, but he did not move it away. Nolan looked at him with big eyes. Caleb smiled a little. Good morning, Nolan. Nolan turned his face into Tessa's dress. Tessa looked at Caleb. Do not push him. I won't. For a while, Caleb sat in silence while Tessa worked. People came to buy melons. Some stared at him. Some whispered. One man even asked Tessa, Madam, is this your husband? Tessa's hand froze on the knife. Caleb looked down. Tessa answered quietly, He is Nolan's father. The words made Caleb lift his head, but he said nothing. He knew better than to turn that small sentence into a victory. Later, Nolan began to cough. First, it was small, just one little cough, then another. Tessa touched his forehead and frowned. Caleb leaned forward. Is he okay? He coughs sometimes when dust enters his nose. But Nolan coughed again, harder this time. Tessa lifted him quickly and pressed him to her chest. Nolan, my baby, breathe slowly. Caleb stood up. He sounds bad. Tessa shot him a look. Do not start. I am not starting. I am worried. I know when my child is sick. I did not say you don't. Nolan coughed again, and this time his tiny body shook. Tessa's face changed. She touched his neck, then his forehead again. He is hot, she whispered. Caleb stepped closer. Let me call a doctor. No, Tessa. I said no. There is a clinic near our room. I will take him there if it gets worse. If it gets worse? He is already hot. She glared at him. Do you think I do not see that? Caleb stopped himself from speaking too fast. I know you see it. Then do not speak like I am careless. I am not. You have been here for one morning, Caleb. I have been his mother for 2 years and 6 months. I know. Then remember it. He nodded and stepped back. Okay. But by afternoon, Nolan was no longer playing with the sock. He lay against Tessa's chest, his skin hot, his breathing heavy. The sky had also changed. Dark clouds rolled over the city, and the wind began to lift dust from the roadside. Tessa packed the melons quickly. Caleb helped without asking. He carried the baskets under the table. She wanted to stop him, but Nolan coughed again, and fear took all her words. "We need to go," Caleb said. "I know. Let me take you." Tessa looked at the road. Bikes were rushing past. Buses were full. The wind was stronger now, and the first drop of rain hit Nolan's cheek. Tessa wiped it fast. "Fine, but only to the clinic." Caleb nodded. "Only to the clinic." He opened the car door himself. Tessa held Nolan close and entered, but she sat near the door, not close to Caleb. Caleb noticed, but he did not complain. He sat beside them with enough space between them, his eyes fixed on Nolan's small face. The rain started before they reached the clinic. It came hard and loud, beating the car roof like stones. Traffic slowed. Water ran along the sides of the road. Nolan's breathing grew worse. Tessa's fear broke through her anger. "Caleb, he is too hot." Caleb leaned forward. "Idris, faster." Idris looked through the rain. "Sir, the road is blocked." Caleb's voice became sharp. "Find another way." Tessa held Nolan tighter. "Nolan, look at me. My baby, look at Mama." Nolan's eyes opened only a little, then closed again. Tessa's voice cracked. "No, no, don't sleep like that." Caleb turned to her. "Let me see him." She shook her head at first, but Nolan made a weak sound, and her fear won. She turned him slightly. Caleb touched the boy's forehead with the back of his fingers. His face changed. "He is burning." Tessa's eyes filled. "I told you." Caleb pulled out his phone. "We are not going to the small clinic." Tessa looked at him quickly. "What?" "He needs a hospital." "No, Caleb, hospitals cost too much." "I am not asking about cost. I said clinic. And I said hospital." Tessa's anger flashed. "Do not command me." Caleb looked at her, and his voice softened. "Tessa, fight me later. Hate me later. Shout at me later. But please, let me help him now." Tessa looked down at Nolan. His lips were dry. His small hand was weak on her dress. Her tears fell. "I am scared." Caleb's face broke. "I am scared too." That made her look at him. For the first time, he did not look like the powerful Caleb Rowan. He looked like a father who had just found his son and was already afraid of losing him. Tessa whispered, "Then take us." Caleb called ahead to a private hospital and told them to prepare for a child with high fever and breathing trouble. His voice was firm, but his hand shook after he ended the call. Tessa saw it. At the hospital, Caleb jumped out into the rain before the car fully stopped. He ran around and opened Tessa's door. Rain soaked his shirt at once. He reached for Nolan, then stopped. "May I carry him?" he asked. Tessa looked at the hospital doors, then at Nolan, then at Caleb. Her face was full of fear. "Yes," she whispered. "Careful." Caleb took Nolan like he was holding something more precious than his whole company. The boy felt too hot and too small in his arms. Caleb ran through the rain, shouting for help before he reached the door. A nurse rushed toward them. "What happened?" "Fever, cough, heavy breathing," Caleb said fast. "He is 2 years and 6 months. His name is Nolan." Tessa ran behind them, wet and shaking. "Please help my baby." The nurses took Nolan to a small emergency room. Tessa tried to follow, but one nurse stopped her gently. "Just 1 minute, Ma. Let the doctor check him." Tessa almost fell apart. "No, I need to be with him." Caleb held her arm, but softly. "They are helping him." She pulled away. "Do not hold me." He let go at once. "I am sorry." Tessa paced in the hallway, her wet dress sticking to her body. Caleb stood near the wall, soaked from the rain, his hair wet, his face pale. A nurse came out. "We need the child's details." "Mother's name." "Tessa Monroe," Tessa said quickly. Father's name. The hallway went quiet. Tessa looked at Caleb. Caleb did not speak. He let her choose. Tessa swallowed. Caleb Rowan. The nurse wrote it down and went back inside. Caleb closed his eyes for a second. That was the first time his name had been placed beside Nolan's in the real world. But he did not smile. Not now. After a few minutes, the doctor came out. He was calm but serious. The child has a high fever and chest infection. We are giving medicine now. He is weak, but you brought him in time. Tessa covered her mouth. Will he be okay? We are doing everything. He needs to stay here tonight. Caleb nodded at once. Anything he needs. Give it. Tessa looked at him, then at the doctor. Please do not let money delay anything. The doctor looked confused. Caleb answered quickly. Money will not delay anything. Treat him first. Paperwork later. The doctor nodded and went back in. Tessa sat down slowly on the hallway chair. Her whole body shook now that Nolan was not in her arms. Caleb stood near her, not too close. After a while, he said, "Do you want water?" She shook her head. "Do you want dry clothes?" She shook her head again. He nodded and stayed quiet. Minutes passed like hours. Rain kept hitting the windows. Tessa looked at the closed door. Her hands locked together so tightly her fingers turned pale. Caleb sat on the floor across from her. She looked down at him. "Why are you sitting there?" He leaned his back against the wall. "Because if I sit beside you, you may feel trapped." Tessa stared at him. He continued, "And if I stand, I may look like I am waiting to give orders. So I will sit here." Her face softened for 1 second. Then she looked away. "You look foolish." "I feel worse than foolish." She wiped her cheeks. "I have sat in hospitals alone before." Caleb's voice was quiet. "You will not sit alone tonight." Tessa did not answer. A nurse came out and said Nolan was awake. Tessa stood so fast Caleb stood too. They entered the room together. Nolan lay on the bed with a small drip in his hand. His eyes were half open. Tessa rushed to him and touched his face. "My baby," she whispered. "Mama is here." Nolan made a weak sound. Then his eyes moved to Caleb. Caleb stayed by the door, afraid to come closer. Nolan lifted one tiny hand. Tessa looked at the hand, then at Caleb. She knew what the child wanted even before Caleb did. "He is calling you," she said softly. Caleb's breath caught. "Are you sure?" Tessa nodded, tears in her eyes. "Come slowly." Caleb walked to the bed. He bent down beside Nolan, careful not to touch the drip. "Hi, Nolan," he whispered. Nolan's small fingers touched Caleb's wet shirt. Caleb broke. He lowered his head and cried quietly beside the hospital bed. Not loud, not proud, not hidden behind anger. Just a father crying because his child had reached for him. Tessa watched him through her tears. For the first time, she did not see a rich man trying to fix things. She saw a father who was scared. And even though her heart was still hurt, a small part of her believed that maybe Caleb had not come back only to claim what was his. Maybe he had come back because Nolan had already become part of his heart. Caleb stayed beside Nolan's hospital bed until the rain stopped. His shirt was still damp, his eyes were tired, and his phone kept lighting up in his pocket, but he did not move away. Nolan slept with one small hand wrapped around Caleb's finger, and Caleb sat very still, as if even breathing too loudly might make the boy let go. Tessa sat on the other side of the bed. Her wet hair had dried around her face, and her eyes were heavy from crying. Every few minutes, she touched Nolan's forehead to check if the fever was going down. Each time, Caleb watched her hand, then watched Nolan's face, learning the small ways she cared for him. The doctor came in and smiled a little. "His fever is coming down. He still needs rest, but he is responding well." Tessa closed her eyes and whispered, "Thank God." Caleb nodded, but his voice was low. "Thank you, doctor." The doctor looked at both of them. One parent can stay beside him overnight, but since this is a private room, both of you can stay if you want. Tessa looked at Caleb at once, like she expected him to answer for both of them. Caleb saw the look and said quietly, That is Tessa's choice. The doctor nodded and left. Tessa looked at him for a long moment. You can stay. Caleb's face changed. He tried to hide how much that meant, but he could not. Are you sure? I said you can stay, Caleb. I did not say everything is fine. I know. And if Nolan wakes up crying, I hold him first. I know. And if I ask you to step out, you step out. I will. She looked back at Nolan. Good. For the first time that night, the room became quiet in a peaceful way. Caleb leaned back in his chair, still holding Nolan's finger. Tessa rested her head against the wall, but she did not sleep. She kept watching the door, the machines, the drip, the child, and Caleb. Near morning, the trouble came. It began with footsteps in the hallway. Not hurried nurse footsteps. Not soft doctor footsteps. These were heavy, confident footsteps, the kind that came with expensive shoes and people who believed doors should open for them. Tessa sat up. Caleb opened his eyes. The door opened before anyone knocked. Priscilla Rowan walked in. Behind her were Uncle Gideon, a family lawyer named Mr. Barlow, and two serious men in dark suits. Priscilla wore a cream dress and pearls, like she had come for a meeting, not a sick child. Her eyes moved first to Nolan, then to Caleb, then to Tessa. Tessa stood at once and stepped in front of Nolan's bed. What are you doing here? Caleb rose slowly. His face changed from tired father to dangerous son. Mother. Priscilla ignored his tone. Her eyes stayed on the bed. So it is true. Tessa's hand shook, but her voice was firm. Leave. Priscilla looked at her like she had not spoken. He looks like Caleb. Tessa moved closer to the bed. I said leave. Mr. Barlow stepped forward with a folder in his hand. Miss Monroe, we are not here to fight. We are here to make sure the child is properly protected. Tessa stared at him. Protected from who? Gideon answered before the lawyer could. From poverty, from street life, from being dragged around melon tables while carrying Rowan blood. Caleb's voice cut through the room. One more word, Uncle, and you will leave this hospital with help. Gideon looked shocked. Caleb, control yourself. No, that is what all of you did for years. You controlled things. You controlled stories. You controlled doors. You controlled phones. Today, you control nothing. Priscilla looked at him with hurt eyes. My son, this is not the place. Caleb gave a cold laugh. You brought lawyers to a sick child's room? And now you want to talk about place? Priscilla's face tightened. I came because this child is a Rowan. Tessa's eyes filled with fear, but she did not move. His name is Nolan Monroe. Priscilla looked at her. For now, the room went still. Caleb took one step forward. What did you say? Mr. Barlow opened the folder. Mr. Rowan, your mother asked us to begin emergency family protection steps. If the boy is confirmed to be your child, the family can request temporary control based on living conditions, financial safety, and future care. Tessa looked like the floor had opened under her. Temporary control? Caleb turned to the lawyer. Close that folder. Mr. Barlow blinked. Sir, I said close it. Priscilla lifted her chin. Caleb, do not be foolish. The boy cannot go back to a roadside table. Tessa's voice broke. You want to take my son? Priscilla looked at her, and for 1 second something like guilt moved across her face, but pride quickly covered it. I want what is best for him. Tessa stepped closer to the bed and placed both hands on the rail. What is best for him is his mother. Gideon scoffed. A mother who sells melons in dust? Caleb moved so fast Gideon stepped back. Say one more thing about her. Gideon raised his hands. I am only saying what everyone can see. Caleb's eyes were dark. Then see this. She raised him when we failed him. She fed him when we did not know his name. She held him through fever when my family was hiding letters in drawers. So if you are looking for the strongest person in this room, look at her. Tessa looked at Caleb, shocked by the force in his voice. Priscilla's eyes watered. You would shame your own mother in front of strangers? Caleb turned to her. You shamed yourself before I opened my mouth. Mr. Barlow tried to speak again. Mr. Rowan, with respect, The family has legal options. Caleb looked at him. And I have better lawyers than you. The lawyer went quiet. Caleb continued. But we are not starting with lawyers. We are starting with truth. Did you know Tessa was pregnant? Priscilla looked away. Caleb stepped closer. Answer in front of the lawyer you brought. Caleb, she whispered. Did you know? Her lips trembled. Yes. Tessa closed her eyes, holding back a sob. Caleb's voice stayed hard. Did you hide her letter? Priscilla looked at Mr. Barlow, then back at Caleb. Yes. Did you use my phone to send messages that made her believe I did not want her? The lawyer's face changed. Priscilla's voice dropped. I did what I thought was needed. Caleb pointed at Nolan. Needed? That child almost grew up never knowing me because of what you thought was needed. Gideon stepped forward. Caleb, do not speak like your mother acted alone. Everyone turned to him. Priscilla snapped. Gideon, stop. But Caleb's eyes narrowed. No, let him talk. Gideon realized his mistake, but pride made him keep going. We all agreed Tessa was a risk. The business was weak then. The family name needed clean support. Your mother made the hard choice. Tessa whispered. You all planned it. Mr. Barlow slowly lowered his folder. Caleb looked at them one by one. You came here to take my son from the woman you already robbed? Priscilla cried now. I came to save him. No, Caleb said. You came because you finally saw what you lost. Priscilla looked at Nolan's sleeping face. Her voice shook. He is my grandchild. Tessa's voice came out sharp. No. Priscilla looked at her. Tessa stood taller, though her body was shaking. You do not get to say that word like it is sweet. You knew he was coming. You knew I was alone. You knew Caleb did not know. You had 3 years to find us, 3 years to say the truth, 3 years to be human. You did not come. So do not stand beside his hospital bed and call him yours. Priscilla's face broke. I was afraid. Tessa shook her head. So was I, but I did not hurt a child because I was afraid. Nolan stirred in the bed. Everyone went quiet at once. His eyes opened slowly, and he made a weak sound. Tessa turned to him. Mama is here. Caleb stepped back, giving her space. Nolan looked from Tessa to Caleb, then to the strangers near the door. His face folded with fear, and he began to cry. Tessa lifted him carefully from the bed, keeping the drip safe. It's okay, my baby. Nobody is taking you. Mama is here. Caleb turned to Priscilla, Gideon, and the lawyer. Get out. Priscilla wiped her face. Caleb, get out before my son hears another word from you. Mr. Barlow cleared his throat. Mr. Rowan, perhaps we should talk outside. Caleb looked at him. There is nothing to talk about. No one is filing anything. No one is touching Tessa. No one is touching Nolan. If any paper leaves your office with their names on it, I will destroy every person behind it. Gideon's face hardened. You are choosing her over your family? Caleb looked at Tessa holding Nolan, then back at his uncle. No, I am choosing the family you tried to erase. The words filled the room. Priscilla cried quietly. Gideon looked angry. Mr. Barlow looked like he wished he had never come. Caleb pointed to the door. Leave. One by one, they left. Priscilla was the last. She stopped at the door and looked at Nolan again. For a moment, her face looked old and broken. Tessa, she whispered. I am sorry. Tessa did not answer. Priscilla looked at Caleb. I have lost you. Caleb's voice was quiet, but firm. You lost me the day you made my wife leave with our child inside her. Priscilla lowered her head and walked out. When the door closed, Tessa still held Nolan tightly. Her whole body shook now that the fight was over. Caleb turned toward her but did not come too close. They will not take him, he said. Tessa looked at him with tears running down her face. You promise. Caleb's own eyes were wet. I promise. Do not promise if you cannot fight them. He held her gaze. I just did. Nolan cried softly against her neck. Caleb stepped closer and lowered his voice. May I stand here? Tessa nodded. Caleb stood beside them. Not touching, not forcing, just guarding the bed like a wall. Tessa looked at him, and something in her face changed. It was not trust yet. It was not forgiveness. But it was no longer fear. And as the morning light came through the hospital window, Caleb understood that protecting them from his family was only the first fight. The harder fight would be proving to Tessa that he would never again let anyone stand between them. By noon, Nolan's fever had gone down, and the doctor said he was strong enough to sleep without fear. Tessa sat beside the bed, still tired, still watchful, still holding his little hand like she did not trust peace to last. Caleb stood near the window, looking down at the hospital garden, but his mind was not there. His mother had come with lawyers. His uncle had admitted they all planned it. And now the truth was too big to hide inside one hospital room. Tessa looked at Caleb's back. "You are too quiet." Caleb turned. "I am thinking. That is what scares me." He walked closer but stopped near the end of the bed. "There is a Rowan business event tonight." Tessa's eyes narrowed. "Why are you telling me that?" "Because my mother, my uncle, and half the people who helped bury the truth will be there." Tessa's hand tightened around Nolan's. "No." Caleb looked at her carefully. "You do not even know what I am asking." "I know enough. You want me to go there." "I want the truth to be said in front of the people who helped hide it." Tessa shook her head. "Caleb, I am not going to stand in front of rich people so they can look at me like I am some sad roadside woman. They will not look at you that way. You cannot control their eyes." "No," he said, "but I can control my voice." Tessa stood slowly. "Your voice was gone for 3 years." Caleb took the words without fighting. "Yes. So now you want to use it in one night and call that justice?" "No. I want to use it because silence protected the wrong people." Tessa looked at Nolan sleeping on the bed. "My son is sick. The doctor said he can stay here with a nurse. My son needs me." "Yes," Caleb said softly. "And if you say no, I will go alone." That made her look back at him. "You will still do it?" "Yes." "Even if I stay here?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because you should not have to beg anyone to believe you. The truth should stand without you bleeding again." Tessa's eyes filled, but she held the tears back. "And what will you say?" Caleb reached into his jacket and brought out the letter. "I will read what you wrote." Tessa stared at the envelope. "No." Caleb stopped. "If you do not want me to read it, I will not. It is private." "I know. That letter was for you." "I know. It was not for people who laughed when I left." Caleb lowered his hand. "Then I will not read it." Tessa looked surprised. "Just like that?" "Yes." She searched his face. "You are not going to argue?" "No." Her voice became softer. "Then what will you say?" Caleb looked toward Nolan. "I will say what I saw. I will say what my mother admitted. I will say what Gideon admitted. I will say that my wife was forced out while carrying my child. I will say that the child they called a risk is my son." Tessa swallowed. "Do not make me look weak." Caleb stepped closer. "I could never." That evening, Caleb entered the Rowan Grand Hall alone at first. The hall was full of lights, glass tables, flowers, cameras, and people wearing fine clothes. It was supposed to be a celebration of a new company project. Men smiled with drinks in their hands. Women laughed softly. Everyone wanted to stand close to the Rowan name. But when Caleb walked in, the room changed. People saw his face and moved out of his way. Priscilla stood near the stage in a dark blue gown. Gideon stood beside her, whispering to 2 board members. When Priscilla saw Caleb, her smile died. She walked toward him quickly. "Caleb, please do not do this here." Caleb looked at her. "Here is exactly where it should happen. This is a company event." "No," Caleb said. "This is a room full of people who believed the story you told." Gideon stepped in. "Nephew, calm yourself. You are emotional because of that woman." Caleb turned his head slowly. "Say her name." Gideon frowned. "What?" "Her name is Tessa. Say it with respect or do not speak." The people near them had stopped talking now. The silence began to spread. Priscilla looked around. fear rising in her eyes. "Caleb," she whispered, "you will ruin us." He looked at her with pain. "You ruined us first." Then he walked to the stage. A host was holding a microphone and smiling nervously. Caleb took the microphone from him without asking. The room became fully quiet. "Good evening," Caleb said. No one answered. He looked across the hall at the faces watching him. Some were friends. Some were family. Some were business partners. Some were people who had smiled in his house 3 years ago and acted like Tessa had vanished because she was greedy or weak. Caleb's voice was calm, but heavy. "Tonight was meant to be about business. But there is a truth my family has hidden for 3 years, and I will not let this room clap for us while that truth stays buried." Priscilla covered her mouth. Gideon moved toward the stage. "Cut the microphone." Caleb pointed at him. "If anyone cuts this microphone, they leave my company tonight." No one moved. Caleb continued, 3 years ago, my wife, Tessa Monroe, left my home. Many of you heard she walked away because she wanted money. Some of you heard she betrayed me. Some of you heard she did not want a family. I believed some of those lies too." A murmur moved through the hall. Caleb's hand tightened around the microphone. "Today I found out the truth. Tessa was pregnant when she left. Pregnant with my son." The room burst into whispers. Priscilla stepped forward, crying now. "Caleb, please." He looked at her from the stage. "My mother knew." The whispers stopped. Caleb's voice became sharper. "My mother knew my wife was pregnant. She hid it from me. She kept the baby socks Tessa bought to tell me the news. She kept the letter Tessa wrote for me. She used my phone to send messages that made Tessa believe I wanted her gone." A woman gasped. One board member looked at Gideon. Gideon's face had gone pale. Caleb pointed toward him. "My uncle Gideon also knew. He stood there today and said they all agreed Tessa was a risk." Gideon shouted, "That is not fair." Caleb's voice thundered. "Was it fair when she gave birth alone?" Gideon stopped. "Was it fair when my son grew up beside a roadside melon table while his father sat in boardrooms, not knowing he existed? Was it fair when you let people call her names while you knew she had been pushed out?" No one spoke. At the back of the hall, the doors opened. Tessa entered. She was not dressed in a rich gown. She wore a simple clean dress the hospital nurse had helped her find from a small shop nearby. Her hair was tied back. Her face was tired. Nolan was not with her. He was safe at the hospital. But she stood straight, and when Caleb saw her, his voice caught. The whole room turned to look. Tessa almost stepped back, but Caleb shook his head gently from the stage, as if saying, "You do not have to run." Priscilla saw Tessa and broke. She walked toward her, crying, "Tessa!" Tessa did not move. Priscilla stopped a few steps away. "I am sorry." The hall was so quiet that everyone heard it. Tessa's eyes were wet, but her voice was clear. "Sorry for what?" Priscilla's lips trembled. "For sending you away." Tessa stared at her. "Say all of it." Priscilla looked around at the people, shame covering her face. "For sending you away when you were pregnant." Tessa's voice shook. "Say all of it." Priscilla cried harder. "For taking your letter. For hiding the baby socks. For lying to Caleb. For letting you suffer alone." Tessa closed her eyes, and tears slipped down her cheeks. Caleb came down from the stage and stood near her, but he did not touch her. This was not his moment to hold her. This was her moment to hear the truth from the mouth that had broken her life. Tessa looked at Priscilla. "Why?" Priscilla's face crumbled. "Because I was afraid." Tessa shook her head slowly. "That is not enough. I thought you would make him weak. I loved him. I know that now." "No," Tessa said. "You knew it then. That is why you were scared." Priscilla could not answer. Tessa's voice became small, but everyone still heard it. "You looked at me that night like I was nothing. You looked at my baby like he was a trap. Do you know what that did to me?" Priscilla whispered, "No. It made me stop saying Caleb's name in my prayers because it hurt too much." Caleb looked away, tears filling his eyes. Priscilla fell to her knees in front of Tessa. The room gasped, but she did not care anymore. "I was wrong," Priscilla cried. "I was wicked. I thought power meant protecting the family, but I destroyed it. I do not ask you to forgive me tonight. I only ask you to believe that I know I did wrong." Tessa looked down at the woman who had once stood over her in the Rowan mansion. Her hands shook. Her heart was full of anger, pain, and something else she did not want to name. "I believe you know," Tessa said, "but knowing does not heal me." Priscilla lowered her head. Caleb stepped forward and faced the room again. "From tonight, nobody will speak one dirty word about Tessa Monroe. Nobody will question my son. Nobody will use the Rowan name to hurt them again. And anyone who helped hide this truth will leave my company and my life." Gideon shouted. "You cannot remove family." Caleb looked at him. "Watch me." Gideon's mouth closed. Tessa turned to Caleb. "You told them." "Yes." "You did not read my letter." "No." "Why?" "Because your pain belongs to you first." Her face softened, but only a little. "And now," Caleb's voice was quiet, "now they know the truth, but you still decide what happens with your life." Tessa looked around the hall. The rich lights, the shocked faces, the proud people who had once believed she was the problem. Then she looked back at Caleb. "For 3 years, I wanted someone to say I was not lying," she whispered. Caleb nodded. "You were not lying." Her tears fell again. "I know." He looked at her like he wanted to hold her, but he kept his hands by his sides. Tessa took one slow breath. "I need to go back to Nolan." Caleb nodded. "I will take you if you allow me." She looked at him for a long moment. "Walk beside me," she said. "Not in front." Caleb's eyes filled again. "Beside you." And in front of the whole Rowan family, Tessa Monroe walked out of the grand hall with Caleb beside her. Not forgiven yet, not healed yet, but finally no longer carrying the lie alone. Tessa and Caleb walked out of the Rowan Grand Hall side by side, just like she had asked. He did not walk ahead of her. He did not hold her hand. He did not open the car door like he wanted the watching people to see him being kind. He simply stayed beside her, close enough to protect her, but far enough to let her breathe. When they reached the car, Tessa stopped and looked back at the bright hall. Through the glass doors, she could still see people standing in small groups, whispering. Priscilla was sitting on a chair with her head down, and Gideon was shouting at one of the board members, but nobody seemed to be listening to him now. Caleb followed Tessa's eyes. "You never have to enter that room again." Tessa looked at him. "Do not decide that for me." He nodded at once. "You are right. I am sorry." She studied his face in the soft light outside the hall. "You say sorry faster now." "I am learning." "Learning is not the same as changing." "I know." Tessa looked away. "Good. Because Nolan does not need a father who speaks well. He needs one who stays when things become hard." Caleb's voice was quiet. "Then I will stay." Tessa turned to him. "Do not say it like a promise from a movie." "I am not." "Then say it like a man who understands that staying means dirty clothes, hospital bills, school fees, night crying, hard talks, and days when I may not want to look at your face." Caleb swallowed. "I understand." "No, you do not. But maybe you can learn." He held her gaze. "Then teach me." Tessa's face softened for 1 second, but she quickly looked toward the car. "Let us go to my son." "Our son," Caleb said softly, then stopped himself. "Only if you allow me to say that." Tessa looked at him for a long moment. "Not tonight." Caleb nodded. "Not tonight." They drove back to the hospital in silence. Tessa sat by the window watching the city lights pass. Caleb sat beside her, not touching her, not asking for comfort, not trying to explain. He had spoken in front of everyone, but now he understood that public truth was only the first step. The real work would happen in quiet places, when no one was clapping, when Tessa was tired, when Nolan was crying, when Caleb's old pride wanted to rise again. At the hospital, Nolan was awake and sitting on the bed with a small cup in his hand. A nurse was helping him drink. When he saw Tessa, his face lit up. "Mama," he said. Tessa hurried to him and held him carefully. "My baby. Mama is here." Caleb stayed near the door. Nolan looked over Tessa's shoulder and saw him. The boy stared. Caleb gave a small wave. "Hello, Nolan." Nolan did not smile, but he did not hide either. He lifted the yellow sock from beside him and held it up. Tessa looked at the sock, then at Caleb. "He has been holding it since morning." Caleb's eyes filled. "May I come closer?" Tessa looked at Nolan. "Do you want him to come?" Nolan did not answer. He only looked at Caleb with those serious eyes that looked too much like his father's. Tessa said, "Come slowly." Caleb came to the bed and sat on the chair. He did not reach for Nolan. He did not touch his hair. He only sat there and waited. Nolan pushed the yellow sock toward him. Caleb took it with care. "Thank you." Nolan looked at him for a moment, then leaned back into Tessa's arms. Tessa saw Caleb's face. It was full of joy, but he was trying not to make too much of it. "He gave you a sock, Caleb. He did not give you the world." Caleb nodded, smiling through wet eyes. "I know, but it feels close." For the first time in years, Tessa almost laughed. It was small, and it disappeared fast, but Caleb heard it. He did not speak. He did not want to scare it away. If you're enjoying this video so far, consider subscribing to my small channel. My wife promised to make me a chocolate chip cookies if I hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of 2026. So it would mean the world to me. That's it, and thanks for listening this far. Now let's continue. The next few weeks were not easy. Caleb did not take Tessa and Nolan to the Rowan mansion. He did not force them into his world. Instead, he came to the roadside every morning after Nolan left the hospital. At first, he sat on the same old stool beside the melon table. He wore simple clothes, but people still stared. Some laughed softly when they saw him carrying baskets. Some women whispered, "Look at the billionaire holding melons." Caleb heard them and kept working. One morning, Tessa saw him lifting a heavy basket the wrong way and said, "You will break your back like that." Caleb looked at the basket. "Then show me." She folded her arms. "You do not know how to carry fruit? I know how to buy companies. That will not help you here. I am seeing that." She sighed, walked over, and showed him how to hold the basket close to his body. Like this. Do not act proud with heavy things. Heavy things do not respect pride. Caleb looked at her. "I think that is true for more than baskets." Tessa paused, then looked away. "Do not turn everything into deep words." He smiled faintly. "Sorry." Nolan began to know him slowly. The boy did not call him father. Not at first. He called him man for many days. Caleb accepted it even when it hurt. One afternoon, Nolan dropped a melon seed on Caleb's shoe and said, "Man, see." Caleb bent down. "I see it." Tessa looked at him carefully, waiting to see if he would correct the child. He did not. Later that day, when Nolan fell asleep under the shade, Caleb said quietly, "He does not have to call me anything until he wants to." Tessa did not look at him. "That is good. I mean it. I know. That is why I said it is good." That was how trust began to return. Not like thunder, not like magic. Came in small pieces. Caleb paid for Nolan's doctor visits, but he asked Tessa first. He brought food, but only after asking what Nolan liked. He found a better place for them to live, but he did not sign anything until Tessa saw it, checked every room, and said yes with her own mouth. The new apartment was small compared to Caleb's world, but to Tessa, it felt safe. It had clean walls, a small kitchen, a room for Nolan, and a window where morning light entered softly. Caleb stood by the door the first day and watched Tessa walk through it. "You can change anything you want," he said. Tessa turned. "I know. I mean it." "I said I know, Caleb." He smiled. "Sorry." She looked around the living room. "This is not a gift." Caleb became serious. "No, it is support. And support does not mean control." "I know. And if one day I say I want to pay part of the rent myself, you will not laugh." "I will not laugh." "And if I say Nolan and I need space, you will give it." "Yes." Tessa looked at him for a long time. "You are really trying." "I am. It scares me." His face changed. "Why?" Because if you were still proud and cold, I would know how to protect myself. But this Caleb is harder. Harder how? She looked toward Nolan's room, where the boy was playing with a small toy car Caleb had brought. Harder to hate. Caleb did not move. He looked like those words had touched a place in him that was still wounded. I am not asking you to stop protecting yourself, he said. Good. I am only asking for a chance to keep showing up. Tessa nodded slowly. Then show up. And he did. Months passed. Caleb came for breakfast when Tessa allowed it. He took Nolan to the park with Tessa watching nearby. He learned that Nolan hated peas but loved bananas. He learned that when Nolan was sleepy, he rubbed his left wrist, right over the Rowan mark. He learned how to hold him during a fever without panicking. He learned how to read bedtime stories without making his voice sound like a board meeting. One night, Nolan sat between Tessa and Caleb on the floor, building blocks. He placed one block on Caleb's knee and said, "Daddy, hold." The whole room went still. Caleb looked at Tessa first, as if asking if he had heard right. Tessa's eyes filled with tears, but she smiled softly. He said what he said. Caleb looked down at Nolan. "Daddy will hold it." His voice shook, but he held the block steady. Nolan placed another block on top of it, then clapped when it did not fall. That night, after Nolan slept, Tessa stood by the window while Caleb waited near the door. "You can sit," she said. He sat. She kept looking outside. "When I was at the roadside, I used to think about what I would say if you ever found us." Caleb listened quietly. "Some days I wanted to scream. Some days I wanted to throw the melons at your car. Some days I wanted you to see Nolan and hurt the way I hurt." Caleb lowered his head. "I deserve that. Maybe," she said. "But now that you are here, I do not want to live inside that pain forever." He looked up slowly. Tessa turned from the window. "I am not the same woman you lost. I know. I am stronger now, but I am also more tired. I know. And you are not the same man I married. I hope not." She walked closer and sat across from him. "I do not want your big house. I know. I do not want your mother's approval. You do not need it. I do not want to be treated like a poor woman you rescued." Caleb's voice was firm. "You rescued our son long before I came back." Tessa's eyes softened. "I want peace. I want that too. I want Nolan to laugh without feeling pulled between us. He will. I want honesty, even when it is hard. You will have it. And I want to choose you because I want to, not because you are rich, not because Nolan needs things, not because people now know the truth." Caleb's eyes filled, but he stayed still. "Then choose only when your heart is ready." Tessa looked at him for a long time. "My heart is scared. I will wait. It is still hurt. I will wait. It may take time. I have already lost 3 years. I can wait for what matters." Tessa's tears fell, but this time she did not wipe them away. "I do not forgive everything in one night. I do not expect you to. But I forgive enough to take one step." Caleb's breath caught. "What step?" Tessa reached across the small space between them and placed her hand over his. Caleb looked at their hands like he was afraid to move. "This step," she said. He closed his fingers around hers gently, not tight, not hungry, not proud, just gentle. The next morning, Tessa asked Caleb to drive her somewhere. She did not say where until they reached the old roadside spot. The melon table was gone now. Another woman was selling oranges nearby. The dusty ground was still the same. Cars still rushed past. The sun still burned hot above them. Caleb stood beside Tessa with Nolan in his arms. "This was where you found us," she said. Caleb nodded. "I will never forget. I hated this place. I know. But it also kept us alive." Caleb looked at her. "You kept him alive." Tessa touched Nolan's cheek. "We did what we had to do." Nolan pointed at the road. "Melon?" Tessa smiled. "Yes, baby. Mama used to sell melons here." Caleb's voice was soft. "And one day, when he is older, we will tell him the truth." Tessa looked at him. "Not a bitter truth. No, not a truth that makes him hate anyone. No, a truth that teaches him love must protect, not control. Caleb nodded. Yes. Tessa looked at the empty spot where her table used to stand. Then she took the last yellow sock from her bag. She had kept it safe. The other one was in Nolan's room. She held it for a moment, then gave it to Caleb. Keep this one. Caleb stared at it. Are you sure? Yes. It belongs to our story too. Our story. Caleb heard the words, and his eyes filled. Tessa smiled through her tears. Do not cry again, Caleb. You cry more than Nolan now. He laughed softly, and she laughed too. Nolan looked between them and clapped, not knowing why they were laughing, only happy that they were. Caleb held Nolan with one arm and the yellow sock with the other hand. Tessa stood beside them, no longer hiding, no longer alone, no longer waiting for someone to believe her. The roadside did not disappear. The pain did not disappear either, but it became a memory instead of a prison. And when Tessa finally took Caleb's hand and walked away from that dusty place with their son between them, Caleb knew the truth. He had not won her back with money. He had not won her back with power. He had not won her back because the Rowan name was strong. Tessa chose him again because, this time, he chose her and Nolan first.